Hi, thank you for joining us for our annual SC market update briefing, hopefully our final virtual one. I'm Mark Nossofkoff, Research Director and Lead Storage Analyst, and I will be providing a glimpse into the HPC storage and interconnect market. I'll first comment on both on-premises and cloud storage market data, move into sharing high-level key findings from our latest annual site survey, and end with a look at our future storage and interconnect research direction. Storage continues to command a large share of the overall on-premises infrastructure budget. Storage remains the second largest HPC area and has the highest growth rate with an 8.6% 5-year CAGR, culminating with approximately $9.9 billion in projected storage revenue in 2026. The study also indicated almost half of the sites surveyed expect their storage budgets to increase in the next 12 months by more than 5%. Key drivers for the continued strength of the storage market include an increasing amount of data being created to feed the growing adoption of data-intensive AI and HPD workloads across both HPC and enterprise IT data centers, development of larger models for more accurate AI training, and higher resolution for more precise analyses from traditional HPC modeling and simulation. HPC storage in the cloud is providing an even greater market growth opportunity. Approximately 1/3 of user spending in the cloud is spent on storage, with 2/3 of that spent on persistent durable storage and 1/3 on temporal ephemeral storage. Specifically, there was approximately 1.7 billion spent on cloud storage in 2021, with the 5-year CAGR projected to be almost 2.3 times that of the on-premise storage market at 19.5% and 8.6% respectively. HPC storage spending in the cloud is forecast to be roughly $4 billion in 2026. Also interesting to note is that when considering user spending in the cloud alongside the other broader on-premises HPC market areas, total cloud spending is projected to overtake on-premises storage spending in 2024. Moving on to storage vendor preferences, this data and subsequent technology ecosystem data summarizes key findings from our most recent annual site survey. The 181 participants represented all sectors, with 109 from industry, 20 from government, and 52 from academia. Dell Technologies remains the most preferred storage vendor at the surveyed sites, slightly increasing its preferred provider status from 19% to 21%, and most preferred by both industry and academia. IBM was the most preferred in government sector, and second most preferred overall, albeit tied with HPE Cray in academia. DDN continues as the most preferred independent storage vendor. There was also no discernible difference between largest systems and all systems relative to where sites procured their storage systems. Users showed a strong preference for acquiring their storage from their HPC system vendor and an approximately 2.5 to 3 times that as from independent storage vendors. This is also largely unchanged from last year. Turning our attention to key findings within the storage technology ecosystem, let's take a look first at file systems. As mentioned, the findings are from our most recent site survey of 181 sites, representing 306 storage systems. While past year's data looked broadly at file systems deployed across all systems at the surveyed sites, findings being shared today focus on sites' largest systems, taking a close look at NAS scale-out file systems and parallel file systems. Many of the largest systems deployed both file system types on the largest systems, with 74.6% of the sites utilizing NAS scale-out and 82.9% of the sites deploying parallel file systems. Standard NFS was far and away the most preferred at sites adopting NAS scale-out file systems on their largest machines. Government and academia adoption were both over 90%, and industry was approximately 70%, indicating the industry is more willing to consider vendor-specific NAS scale-out implementations. At sites implementing parallel file systems on their largest machines, Lustre is preferred by a little more than 2 to 1 over Spectrum scale at 46% and 22% of the sites surveyed, respectively. Looking now at system interconnects, sites were asked to indicate whether they employed independent system-to-system and system-to-storage networks or a converged system and storage network on their largest systems. Additionally, they were asked both about their current largest systems and what they intend for the next procurement. The results suggest a shift is emerging at the surveyed sites relative to interconnect architecture, from a higher adoption of independent networks today to a majority of converged networks in the future. Factors driving this shift include networking rates increasing to the point of being able to support the demands of converged networks, features being implemented to optimize overall performance, including both bandwidth and latency, requirements to support complex, heterogeneous, compute-intensive and data-intensive workloads are being addressed to accelerate workload completion times while also alleviating the added expense of separate networks. Looking first at sites with system-to-system independent networks, Ethernet was preferred technology, with 100 gigabit speed overtaking 10 gigabit as the preferred line rate. InfiniBand was adopted next at these sites with HDR 200 gigabit equaling EDR 100 gigabit as the preferred line rate. Also of note is the emergence of 400 gigabit line rates for both InfiniBand and Ethernet, with each over 15% adoption within their specific site adoptions. There's a similar picture with system to storage networks at sites with independent networks. Ethernet is preferred over InfiniBand. There's a slight difference in preferred line rate, as 100 gigabit is the preferred option for both networking technologies, although HDR 200 gigabit has a respectable adoption at InfiniBand sites. Again of note is the emergence of 400 gigabit line rates for both InfiniBand and Ethernet, with each at over 10% adoption at their respective sites. Preferences are reversed at sites with converged networks. InfiniBand is slightly preferred over Ethernet. 100 gigabit is the preferred line rate for both technologies, and 400 gigabit is emerging in meaningful adoption within each technology as well. Closing with a look into the coming year, there's really no shortage of areas to explore, and we're interested in where you would like to see us expand our research coverage areas. In addition to our enduring market coverage, our evolving storage and interconnect research agenda includes developing a deeper picture of how all storage media and respective systems are architected, deployed, and utilized, refining our cloud landscape model and how the cloud can best be utilized to optimize storage solutions, explore how edge computing is impacting storage architectures and spending, and deeper intranode and compute level interconnects and additional memory topics such as big memory and in and near memory computing. That concludes our glimpse into the 2022 storage and interconnect landscape. As mentioned, we're interested in where you would like to see us expand our market coverage areas. Please reach out and let us know what else you expect to see and where you'd like to see us take our future research and market coverage. Thanks again for joining us. Take care, and please reach out if you'll be at SC22 next week. We'd love to talk further.